Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing today? Welcome back to TBD, To Be Determined Wrestling Podcast. And if you have any questions about who I am, Reese Sinclair, JC, whatever you
Uh,
want to call me, or you have any questions about who that man is over there,
this
make
is the dealer, Alexander Jackson, Blitz or Maxwell.
make
I go
sure
by so much.
make sure you check out our last video. We went
Yes.
a little bit into who we are. We reviewed Raw, and I have to say that compared to this show, that Raw was one of the greatest Raws
Yeah,
compared to
because
this SmackDown.
this night was a little
Abs-
lackluster.
it was so. It wasn't bad in nature. It just was boring. Like it
Yeah,
just was
it was a filler. It was a good filler episode, I guess you could say.
absolute filler episode. Okay, so we just watched the main event, which consisted of Jade Cargill, Tiffany Stratton, Nia Jax, and Naomi. So we'll talk. We can talk about a little bit of that and get back into the actual show. First off, before we begin, make sure you do all that good stuff: like, comment, subscribe.
Yes, please.
We want to hear your thoughts. We want to know what's going on in your minds about the future of the wrestling business. If you don't know who me and him is, just for a little bit of intro, make sure you check out that video before. But we both, are wrestling trainees, so we know how, we've taken
Things
the
are
bumps,
supposed
we've
to
done
work.
the things. Yeah, we've been able to see the way certain things are supposed to be, so we're bringing that perspective. Also, I'm in a political field, so I communicate, I shake hands, I do all things like that, which allows me to come to wrestling and view wrestling from a communication lens, which helps when we're talking about the promos and things like that. So just a little bit intro, let's get into the actual show now. This tag match,
First thing needs to be said. SmackDown needs to go to Netflix because godly, all these ads, I could not take it, bro.
why is it 3 hours? It is so much agony, bro. I thought it's ended at 10 like it used to. Why are we going to 11? It is so
Bro,
bad.
I don't remember. I don't remember them switching it back. I thought it was still going to 10. I didn't know they switched it to 11.
They need to switch it back. It's absolute garbage, bro. This was so freaking long. Like I was falling asleep trying to watch this because that's how boring it was.
I mean, I got to the point where I was just not even really watching it, but
I
I was
was
watching it.
scrolling.
Like
I was
I
scrolling.
was scrolling. Yeah, I
Watching
was
some
scrolling.
Bishop Mar Emanuel, not
No,
even
why
paying
you lie?
attention
He was
about
over
what's
there
going
Sammy
on.
Reels, bro. He was over there Sammy
This is
Reels.
so bad. This is so bad. This show. Okay,
Yeah.
so we had this tag match, which was served as the main event, and the tag match wasn't bad within itself. At the end of the show, Naomi was the one holding up the gold, and we'll talk a little bit about this tag match when we go into the
Yeah.
actual segment. But Naomi was the last person holding the title up.
So yeah,
I
she's going
think,
for the title too.
yeah, she's going for the title. I think honestly, she's probably the best pick in terms of character, knowing how to communicate with your audience. She's probably the best pick
I don't know
for
because
that.
when she had
I would
that
say.
promo today, I didn't really like that
Yeah,
promo she had
it
today.
was a little bit shoddy. It was a little bit shoddy,
I
but at
was
the end
like,
of the day, I think she has the best in-ring character work in
oh
terms of
yes, yes,
how
yes.
the way she carries herself, the cadence of how she carries herself. I think she has the
Well,
best.
it's really between her or Tiffany, to be honest with you. I feel like those are the two people that should have the title. Tiffany's not that bad, bro. You can't say you can't. Don't make that face because Tiffany's
Where's
actually pretty
Jamie
good.
Hayter when you need her? Cause she come to
Oh
WWE, we'll be all
no,
right.
she in that other company,
All right,
AEW, right?
let's get into the show. What we
Okay,
got starting off at the
so
at
we started off with some walkthroughs of people. We saw some people today. And then it goes to Damian Priest walking, and he sees the bloodline. I guess last week they had some
I didn't catch that.
altercations.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that last week, so they told us today they started a fight, and he said he's going for the U.S. Championship. So there's another formidable opponent for for Jacob Fatu DP, that Damian
Damian,
Priest.
bro.
They
Oh
love
my
him some Damian
gosh,
Priest.
bruh. I'm gonna hold it because I
They
think,
love him some Damian Priest, bro.
bro. Please,
Hey, Triple H,
please.
bro. Triple H loves him now. But so that happens, then LA Knight just comes in the frame and then walks out.
Yeah.
And then he comes in and has a promo talking about he needs a rematch for his title again, since he had it last week, but interference by the bloodline and Damian Priest, a lot of stuff going on. He says that he should have another rematch. Then he calls out Damian Priest. He comes out. Then he says it's his fault that he's losing his title and that he doesn't deserve it and that he deserves it instead. So,
I
the
just
usual go
noticed. I'm
around of pro
sorry.
wrestling.
I don't mean to interrupt. Where
Yeah,
yo,
go ahead.
if you remember from the last show, where's those license or registration glasses? I don't see you got them
Bro.
on today.
There's no way, bro. This is not becoming a storyline, okay?
I'm
This is not
just
becoming
saying, where
a
they
storyline,
at though? Like we
bro.
wondering.
No, you
Oh,
don't need to wonder, bro. I don't need him today. Leave me alone. Where's your crew neck? Where's your sweater? Talking about my
nah, I got
glasses.
the pineapples on now. You can't
Oh
see it. My
yeah,
camera not good as yours. You got that HD. I get myself a new camera. When you see, you be able to see the
Lord,
pineapples.
man, making fun of my glasses. Dang, get away from my glasses, man. They talk about the number. They talk about match number one contendership, about how he interfered. Damian Priest, yeah, blah blah blah. They start to roast each other, and then I love one thing I can say about SmackDown. I love their transition into matches
Yeah,
because
and this is a
it didn't go into a brawl. It didn't go into nothing else after the promo. It went straight into a match,
And this
a
is a point that we
sanctified
were
match.
texting about actually during it. We were saying that it's so good. I like the precedent that they're setting. They're setting, hey, we're having a promo, even though we were supposed to be the main event. We're so angry at each other, we need to fight right now, and they actually
Hmm.
fought right now. I thought that was good.
And it wasn't a bad match either. It was a pretty good match. I will say so myself. There was a couple things that where it was happening. Uh, let me see. Let me look at my notes real quick. Yeah, there was a couple weird things that happened. LA Knight has a weird comeback.
Yeah, we talked
A
about that.
very, very weird comeback.
So
I
in
think
red,
what was it again?
it was something, but it ended with the jumping neck breaker on the corner.
Yeah, like from a push though. From a push into the corner to a jumping neck break. I was like,
So in
I don't
wrestling,
understand
when
how
when
it
you
got to
when
that.
you formulate a match, you don't they just don't get in there and do stuff. You formulate the match
Mm-mm.
dependent on what your comeback is, what's going on with your shine, whatever. So LA Knight's comeback we're saying is weird. Like the way his comeback is, he was fighting from down, and then for him to hit a comeback, that's a lot of moves, too explosive. Not I wouldn't say too explosive, but it's like it didn't make sense for the damage that he
Yeah,
was
because
taking.
he got him down for Damian Priest to get back up.
Yeah, it was
And I
kind
was
of
just
like
like,
a weird thing.
why would you not go for the pin while he's down, you
Some
know?
people don't like the bump and feed, and for those who don't know what the bump and feed is, if I hit you
Oh,
with a lariato, like if I hit you with a lariat or like for
hmm.
example,
I
Max
bump up.
Blitz's comeback in real life when he trains, he hits a
Hmm.
back elbow, and then you take the bump,
Bump and feed.
feed back up, and
Feedback
then a
up.
lariat. I felt that lariat and I felt that back elbow, so I know how it feels. You hit that
And you
back
felt that
elbow,
roll too. You
yeah,
felt that.
and I felt that roll. That it's you. But yeah, so his
Oh Lord.
comeback, you don't want like if the guy's down in your comeback, why are we going back up? It was kind of a weird thing. I
Hmm.
didn't know what was going on there. Plus,
Yeah.
he didn't see what happened, but when he went for the elbow, it was like a
Hmm.
miscommunication. I don't know what happened there. That was
Damian
weird.
Priest went for the elbow.
No, so LA Knight did his elbow, but Priest was supposed to like
Oh.
reach up and grab him like Taker, but Priest missed the timing. So LA Knight like
Oh.
stopped him. He was in midair and he just like stopped himself, and then
Oh.
Priest got him.
Um. Yeah, there was a lot of botches tonight too. I would say the slow about that too. There was a lot of botches. We'll get into that later on. But and then he went for like a LA Knight went to the second rope. Damian Priest kicked him in the face, which was supposed to send him down. Then LA Knight started getting back up by himself on the rope. I was like, why are you getting back up on the rope to take a move if you just got kicked off the rope? Like, it was just a lot of stuff that it's really nitpicky for us to say, but as
Yeah.
wrestlers or as wrestler train in training, we see these things.
So
Um,
talk us through the end. What happened at the end?
let me think. So I think one of them goes to the outside eventually.
Yeah.
Uh, then Solo Sokoa comes out, it attacks LA Knight. That's what happened. LA Knight went to the outside. Solo Sokoa comes, attacks LA Knight. They do a cool spot where he was gonna go for his thumb spike in the ring, and Damian Priest ended up behind him, which
Grabs
was
the
a really cool camera
that
angle.
was
I love
good.
that camera angle they did. Uh, he ends up behind him. He stops him. They help each other. LA Knight hits him with a BFT, and then they were gonna put him through the table eventually. But before that could happen, Fa Two
There was no
came
pop
out.
when he came out. Did you hear that?
There wasn't. I didn't. I
No,
thought he had a
I don't
pop.
think they knew who he was because when or at least maybe on my TV, maybe because I didn't hear a
Uh
pop
huh.
until he killed, until he like died. Because even when he died, it was like
Mm-hmm.
mellow tone. But
Well,
when he started doing his thing, they start
oh
popping.
well, they may not know who it was because To be honest, the camera flipped so fast, I didn't even know who it was at first either, because it just went from the table straight to the ring and him
So
diving out.
Fatu hits that Samoan drop on LA Knight on the announce
Mhm.
table, and then basically we're setting up where a triple threat, but eventually at the
Yeah,
when the spoilers with the show, they're setting up a fatal four way with Drew McIntyre, LA Knight, Damian
yes,
Priest, and
yes. And now we're getting
Fatu.
that backlash.
Yes, we're getting that
And he's gonna
backlash.
dog walk that. Stop.
You know what I mean? All right, what we got next? What's going on? We about 10
And
minutes
then
in.
we go into Faxian backstage doing a backstage interview, I guess, or talk. And then Pretty Deadly comes out, says they're the best tag team in the division of SmackDown
I
and
love
that's
Pretty Deadly.
SmackDown.
I like this is
Yeah,
the first time
I
I've
like them
actually
too.
seen them. Again, if you don't know me and him are both coming back to watching these shows, and this is the first time I've seen them. I've heard of them, like I've seen clips. I love their heel work. They were so comfortable on camera. It was
They,
amazing.
they, it
They
was
were
nice.
so
It was nice
comfortable
to
on
see.
camera. Yeah.
They seem like they actually have fun with what they're
Yeah.
doing.
But that's setting
Um,
up a tag later on.
yes, they're setting up a tag literally right after
Hmm.
that interview. It sets up a tag. They have their match. They were doing some cool stuff. I saw this one spot where one of the Pretty Deadly members, I don't know their names, so excuse me, but one of them was getting thrown into the buckle, and one of them covered the buckle with their body so that he could come out and not take
Hmm.
the cell, I guess you could say, in the buckle. So that was a cool spot. Like I like both of the tag teams have great tag team work. They know what they're doing in the ring. They're fast. They look smooth. I like both teams in that ring. I like Faxim. I like Pretty Deadly. They're great. They
Yeah.
have great chemistry
I
with
think
each
that could be
other.
a good rivalry. What's
Yeah.
next?
So there's two things that happened in this match that weren't very keen to the wrestling program. I think one of the Nathan Frazier went for a 450, standing 450, and he busted
He
one
went
of their
shooting
mouths.
star press.
Yeah, oh, a shooting star press, my bad. I thought it was a 450, but he busted one of their mouths, and somehow the pin went from 1, 2 to 3, and he didn't kick out, it seemed. And then it seemed the ref pulled out of the three. I couldn't really tell what happened. I don't know if she hit the mat or she pulled out of the three, but it was a botch pin.
And then later
Then
on, yeah. What
right
happened later
after
on?
that, they do a spot, and then again another botch pin where she did hit the mat, and it sounded like three, but she didn't
He
ring the
kicked
bell.
out. He kicked out, but she counted three. I was like, what is
Yeah,
going on? I
it
was
was
like,
just like
bro,
back to back botch,
yeah.
and then eventually they end the match. Very good match except for the botches. Great teams, Maybe I don't know what was going on tonight, but hey, whatever happens, happens. Let's get into the next thing. The next thing goes to BFAB.
Meechin.
Can you say her name? Yeah, Meechin,
Me and Yim.
and then Miem, and then Chelsea Green and Secret Service. All I gotta say, Chelsea Green deserves another title, bro. I
Yeah,
love her
her
work.
character work is so good, and I added here in my
So
notes.
good.
I don't know if any of y'all noticed, but in the back behind Piper Niven was a Freddie Classy Blassie. If you know anything about him, he's one of the most classic managers, and he made the phrase "you pencil neck geek" popular. So if you know about talking, if you know about communication and promos, bro, Freddie Blassie is him for real. Anyway, let's keep going.
But yeah, so they have a little interview or a little talk through. Chelsea Green wants another rematch for her title, I think. Yeah, I think that's what it was. She wants a rematch for her
Yeah,
title. Um, Zelina or no, Milk All this says that Piper Nemeth needs to win the match tonight for her to have
Piper
another
Niven.
shot.
Yeah, so it's Piper versus Zelina later on in the night.
Yeah, later on. Then they cut from that. Then next we get into Nia Jax comes out for a promo, calling out
Oh,
Tiffany
and this
Stratton for the
is
title.
where it kicks off to me, huh?
Yeah, this is where it kicks
So
off to you, so you go ahead and take over.
okay, I'm glad I get to take over because, as I said, this show. I mean, I am breezing through this because, listen, Nia Jax comes out for a promo. She's about to give her promo. Tiffany interrupts her. Blah 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 blah. Nia Jax, whatever, whatever. When you were holding my bag,
Mhm.
whatever, whatever. Then Naomi hits, and I thought Naomi comes out. I love the gimmick. I love everything, but the promo was a bit, like she
Yeah,
wasn't
it was a little.
confident in what she was
Yeah,
saying.
I don't know if they just. I don't know if she was just going off of herself or for the script, but it just seemed like she did not want to talk
In the
today,
beginning,
like
I
at
liked
all.
it. She said, "Looky, looky here." I thought that was pretty
Yeah, I
good.
thought she was about to
I
cook
thought
low
she was about to,
key,
yeah, but it
and then
didn't
she got
happen.
into it. I was like, oh,
Jade comes out. Those two, they all four start brawling. This then
yeah,
takes. Nick Aldis out for my favorite moment of the night, the
Oh
highlight of
my
the night
god,
tonight.
that
He
man is so
says,
good.
"I'm gonna come out. We're gonna book a tag team match, playa," and he winked at the camera.
Yeah,
I was like,
I was
"Oh,
like,
that's beautiful.
oh,
Oh, that's
Nick
beautiful.
Aldis. I
He know
love
what
me
he's
some Nick
doing."
Aldis, man.
Yeah,
I love
I
me some
love
Nick
Nick
Aldis.
Aldis. It should have been him at Mania versus instead of I believe in
That would have been
Joe
clean.
Hendry.
That would have been clean.
Um, so then we have after that we have an Aleister Black recap, what he did
Oh
against
yes,
the Miz,
the
and so
horrible kick.
yeah, the Miz, just like you, when you take my finishing move,
Okay,
DeVito,
bro.
the Miz walks too far
Hey,
in for the Black
hey.
Mass.
Later on today, he did take it pretty well. So
Excuse me, my computer keeps making all these crazy noises. The
it's about to
second
blow up,
thing,
bro.
the second thing, we got Miz and Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes is one of the greatest workers on that show. Why is he next to the Miz, bruh?
I don't know, but I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like it. Weirdly enough, I actually kind of like it. It is kind of hilarious seeing them
Bro,
two together.
what is wrong with the way you love Nickelodeon
I
wrestling?
don't know. I don't
This
know.
not
I
Cartoon
don't know.
Network. They need to get
It's
serious
so
about
funny.
this.
No, because when you get serious, it's not fun. You need the middle ground where it's serious but fun.
So
That's what makes wrestling good.
Miz and Carmelo are backstage yapping. He said,
Yes.
"Oh, it's me, you, and Andre." They were talking about the big Andre chain. So Carmelo is with Miz.
Which is a crazy chain.
So they go to commercial break. Then I see the clip of Cardi B hosting SummerSlam.
Oh yeah.
God help me. Um,
Hey, I don't think it's gonna be that bad. I don't think it's gonna be that bad. It
why
can't be.
why can't I just enjoy my wrestling? Why do I don't want to see that on my screen? I
Hey,
feel bad because if it's like anything, I saw like little clips of when Sexy Red was hosting NXT. I would have
oh,
walked
it's
out
like
this.
that,
I
then
would
it
have
might be
walked out the
bad.
stadium. It would have been over. Because why do I want to see that? Well, no. I'm walking out the stadium.
Well, I don't think it's
Anyway,
gonna be that bad.
so Aleister Black, Miz, they come out. Miz comes out. I'm the Miz. I'm awesome. Pretty much. Aleister Black comes out with his aura. There's something I want to talk about in this match. First, I'm gonna go a little bit into what they did. They had a great start. Aleister went for the Black Mass. Miz said no, 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 and backed up. I love that. That was
Hmm.
good. Okay, here's what I want to talk about. One more thing in the match. They had a cartwheel on the Skull Crusher finale,
Oh
so it
yeah,
was
that
like
was
the
nice.
reversal.
That was a nice
That was a
spot.
pretty good highlight. Aleister Black is really good. He needs a new gimmick. Call me
Mhm.
unpopular. Here's the problem. Black is really good, and honestly, in my opinion, he should be a main event star. You need a new gimmick to be in the top at this point in this
But
current
what
WWE
gimmick?
era. I don't know, but
What gimmick?
he could embody more of a regular guy who's just dark arts. I feel like him in the black button down suit
Mm.
pants like don't be that. Like I love Aleister Black and he was one of my favorite. But in this current WWE, brother, you need a new gimmick to succeed and get to the top. And I think he needs to be more human. And what that means is less of like the spooky, scary House of Black stuff and
Hmm.
more of a type of regular guy who's into the dark arts, but who's just his striking is crazy. Another problem I had: why is the Miz being competitive with Aleister Black? Aleister Black,
Well,
they hyped him up saying he's Muay Thai, he's this, he's that. The match should have started with the Miz trying to avoid the kick, 4 minutes, 3 minutes top, trying to avoid the kick, trying to avoid the kick. Aleister sees a point, just like they did at the end, hits him 1, 2, 3. That's it. It
well,
was
I
too
mean,
competitive in my opinion,
I understand that you saying it's too competitive, but it is still the Miz. You know, he has been a world champion a lot. You know, he is.
bro. That's
If
like
I'm not wrong, is he? Has he not held every title in the WWE? So
that's like saying Natalia needs no offense to Natalia, she's really good, but that's like saying Natalia needs to be at the top of the WWE right now. The
That's
Miz
not
won a
saying
title.
that.
The Miz won a title 10 years ago. Like no, bro. He stole Daniel Bryan moveset. He hit them
Bro.
weak, but you got a better Psycho Need than the Miz. Literally, you got a better Psycho Need than the Miz, and we expected him to be
Oh.
challenging to Aleister Black,
Well, I mean, I mean, the promo earlier said, "Hey, I want to show myself to the world again, so I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna show
bro.
myself." And you know, he did. He did. It wasn't a bad match.
He cuts that promo every time. Anytime he loses to Bobby Roode, Aleister Black, any new guy, even come out, he's always, I'm the Miz, and I main evented this and this, and I was a top star. Buddy, it's been 10 years. He's good. There's no doubt about it. I love the Miz. But at this point, he does not need to be competitive with Aleister Black. Not Malachi Black. Not the Malachi Black who got Julia and what's that man name?
Buddy
Brody
Murphy
King. What are we
and
doing?
Buddy Murphy.
Alistair Black should have came back. He should be a beast, and he needs to change his gimmicks. Take away the candles. Take away the ascension. Take away all that. Let him come out. Let him just presume a good aura about him. You just know he dangerous. Like when you hear his music, they're like, uh-oh, y'all better go because it don't matter who you are, whether you're Roman Reigns, whether you're The Rock, whether you any top guy. If he hits you with that black mask, 1, 2, 3. That's what they should have. That's his aura. That's how it should be.
I
Um,
mean,
any thoughts about that before I move on?
they showed it somewhat today. That he's still Aleister Black. You know, they showed that he's still up there. He could wrestle. He's a killer. You know, in the match, you can see the Miz was still struggling most of the time, and he was getting hit with a lot of knees and a lot of kicks. So I mean, he still showed that Aleister Black is strong, and he is a force to be reckoned with in the WWE.
Then so we have Ray Phoenix. Ray Phoenix backstage. I love Santos
Yeah.
Escobar in this. I have never seen Santos Escobar like this. His promo was so
Mm-hmm.
good. Just that little glimpse, because if you notice during his promo, he had some of the greatest. He had the greatest visuals I think on the show, even better than Orton, honestly, in my opinion. The way he was smirking and being so smarmy, and the way it led up to it, like when he was like,
Mm-hmm.
and he showed that concern. He was like, and Rey Mysterio was injured. Then he kissed his chain and says, and I hope in whatever he said, I hope forever or whatever he said. He had some of the best visual representations in the face I thought that anybody had on SmackDown. And one thing about communication, so for example, if I'm giving a speech, like for example, a couple months back, I gave a
Yeah.
speech about mental health. If I'm giving a speech about mental health and I'm trying to emphasize something, my facials are going to change because I'm trying to emphasize that point. You see what I'm saying? So he did a great job in that. I thought Santos was really good. That's my only thing about that.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't understand. It seemed like a match that just kind of added into the show, like
They
mid
just
show.
slotted it in. Piper
Yeah.
Niven versus Zelina is next.
Yeah. It was okay match.
Zelina. I
I
put the,
don't.
I
Yeah.
wrote this down. I thought it was okay match. Regardless of the match, I wasn't really concerned with the match. The WWE needs to present women stars more. Um,
Better.
they need to do it better.
Yeah.
It needs to be an aura about them. There's none of that with none of
Because
these
how is she
women.
your champion? I was about to say, how is she your champion? It just seems like
She
a
seems like a
regular
regular
wrestler.
schmegler. And then another
Yeah.
thing is like the only person who made themselves known was Chelsea Green. Then they had that with, and I'm gonna talk about this later. They had that with Nia Jackson. Now she's just one. Not sorry, not Nia Jackson. Jade Cargill in AEW. Jade Cargill,
Hmm.
different level. Now she's just one of the girls. And I think that
Yeah.
WWE needs to present women stars more. I get they love Rhea Ripley. That's great, but we can't just have one, right? We need to
Yeah.
have
You need to
multiple.
start building up stars, and that's been a problem with WWE since the Vince era. Like they just don't know how to build up stars. They know how to keep their stars at star levels, but they don't know how to build up new people to get to that level
And the
to
problem
retake
is,
our
some of you might be saying,
yeah,
well, Charlotte Flair, Bailey, and all these, those are stars by default because they never
yeah.
build up any of the other stars. They came in with the advantages. Let's just be honest with that, right? I'm not saying their
And the
work
only
is
one and the only
discounted. I'm
one
just
that
saying
might have the only one that might have built themselves up was Becky Lynch because when she came into the main roster, she wasn't really known like that
and I would say
compared to Charlotte
Sasha
Flair.
Banks to an extent too,
Yeah,
because Sasha
Sasha
really
Banks
changed the game in terms of character work.
and Bailey and basically like everyone else but Charlotte Flair.
Um, then so one thing I wrote here, Selena grabbed a headlock on Piper. Zelina Vega, who is 5'1", grabbing a headlock, a side headlock on Piper Niven. What are we doing? What are we doing? That's like me grabbing a headlock on Great Khali. Bruh, that ain't happening. So I don't know why they chose that. They could have did something else. Maybe she could have, cause okay, if you're smaller, you want to joint manipulate. You remember in our match, right?
Yeah.
I had to manipulate your joint. So if I'm putting you in a wrist hold or something, it
Wait a second, yo.
pause. But you see what I'm saying? I'm having to manipulate your joints
Yeah,
in a certain way because you are bigger than me. So why does it make even though I'm taller than you, why does it make sense that I got you in a side headlock? You see what I'm
yeah.
saying?
I mean, I don't know how else they could really start that match. It was a weird matchup, honestly, for a
So
big girl like that to be going against a small girl like that. It was a
another
weird
problem
matchup.
I had, and then we'll get off this match. Zelina is trying to pull Piper. If somebody, well, she knows this, I'm sure. But anytime you're doing a spot where you're holding onto the rope or you're holding onto something and somebody can't pull you, this remember when
Yeah,
me and you did that spot in the triple threat where I'm like pulling your arm but I can't pull you.
yeah.
You and me are supposed to tense up. She didn't tense up. She just held the rope like nothing.
Really?
Yes, like she just held the
I
rope and
wasn't
held her
really.
hands. You're
I was
supposed to
paying
act
attention, but I
like if
wasn't.
if I'm if I'm getting dragged, if somebody's trying to pull
Yeah.
me, regardless of how small they are, you're still supposed to show that they're trying to pull you, not just sit
Hmm.
there. I thought
Yeah,
that
I was
that
gonna
looked
say
bad.
about Selena with the pulling too. It just looked very off. Like it seemed like she didn't know how to pull her in a sense. And then when
Well, I
she
thought
went for it
Selena's
again,
was fine.
she
I didn't
wouldn't
think
go
hers
for like
was.
a hit or anything. So it just made it weird. Like, why are you just going for another pull without a hit or anything? Like showing that, hey, I weakened her a little bit. Now I can actually pull her. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. So, we got a lot more of the show, so let's get through this. We about 25 minutes in. Okay, so we have Zelina winning by roll up.
Yep.
So we'll see where that goes. Jacob Fatu and Solo are backstage, and this is where we learned that it's going to be a fatal four-way: Damien, LA Knight, and
Yes.
Drew McIntyre. And then one thing I thought that was interesting in that is Solo said, "Aldis, you trying to screw Jacob?" And then Nick Aldis
All this
said,
said,
"Oh, he
no,
said no,
you.
you
And
are trying to screw Jacob."
walked
I was
away.
like,
I was like, bro, Nick Aldis is, bro, he
that
is
boy
too
too good.
good.
Former
He's too
NWA
good.
World Champion. It was him and
He's
Cody who feuded.
too
Too
good,
good,
bro.
too good.
That man is the best GM I've ever seen
He's
on any
good.
show. He needs to stay GM for both shows, honestly.
He's good. Yeah, Adam. Well, I like the fieriness of Adam Pearce. He always
Yeah, but
mad about something.
still,
He's like, I can't believe
because
y'all
you gotta
fatal four-way
understand,
Extreme Rules match. Like he just get mad. He just get mad
because you
for this.
gotta understand what he's doing with every
Yeah,
day. He's going there and doing chaos.
yeah.
He can't breathe.
So Randy comes out, and something I noted here. Randy's shaking everybody's hand, but then he wipes the hands. I always find that funny because anytime I'm doing something like when you're with a lot of people, you're
Hmm.
shaking. Oh, thank you for coming. Da da da. You always wipe your hands at the end. It's just like a customary thing.
Hmm.
Randy, just to speed past this promo, it was a good promo. I think I was all right. Started off very slow. Randy
Yeah,
said,
I didn't like him talking about just straight up merchandise. That's all he kept talking about was just
which
merchandise,
makes no
merchandise,
sense because
merchandise.
technically Cena has no control over what the price sets for. So I was like,
Yeah, I was
that
just
didn't make
like,
sense.
okay.
Randy says, he saw Cena, the true Cena from day one. Um, he goes through the whole promo, but at the end of the day, Randy says two things that are the most important. You are the latest legend I have to put down. You're not the last champion.
Yeah.
You're the latest legend I have to put down. And he's going to kick his Lego-shaped head. And so I
Oh
thought,
damn, I don't remember that.
yeah, he
I
said that.
don't
I
remember that
said, I
part.
said that is funny. That is true, and I
That
can't wait to
is
see
funny.
that.
Yeah, it's a legend killer is back, so that's nice to
Yes,
hear.
it's not.
We're kind of getting the old Randy back.
Any thoughts about that before we move on?
Uh, we need the old Randy back. I want the Randy that RKO's women. Like I need that
Yeah,
Randy
we
back.
need we need the what do they
The
call it?
devious
The
Randy.
devious Randy. I remember
The
he
devious
no one
Randy.
has ever got that high ever in WWE since him.
No.
Like he was just a psychopath, bro. Breaking in people
Yeah, that was
houses,
the
RKOing people,
bald.
kissing their wife in front of them while they handcuffed. Bro,
And then RKO or kick him in the head. I'm like, yo,
the son-in-law kicked everybody, kicked Vince.
literally, he was going crazy, bro. We need ball Randy back. We need him back.
So we go backstage. Jack's telling Naomi to stay out her way.
Hmm.
R-Truth comes and R-Truth is talking to Randy and
Yeah.
Randy and telling him that
Hmm.
Cena's gonna win a Backlash. And you
Yeah.
made a good point. What did you say?
Well, during that part, I texted R Truth that I've been seeing on social media and certain things that people are saying that R Truth might be the one to interfere in their match and have Cena go over in that match.
Yeah, clearly.
Which we know that Cena is gonna most likely win that match, but that I feel like that would be a good way to show that R Truth, I guess, is heel again.
Well, technically he's not heel, but that definitely that definitely could work because they're not doing this for no reason. So there's a reason why they're doing
Yeah.
R-Truth that. It could go either ways. I could see where R-Truth come
Hmm.
out, try to help Cena, and then it don't work. Orton hits Cena with an RKO, but Cena is able to kick out. And so
Hmm.
Cena eventually wins, and then that could lead to a mini feud that just could be paid off between R-Truth and Cena. And he say, "Oh, little Jimmy," right? You can
Yeah.
go either way. So because you don't want
Hmm.
to hit Cena's greatest hits.
I'm just trying to figure out how Jimmy keeps coming into that. I
Yeah, why
don't
is
know
I
how.
think Jimmy was
I
just
don't know.
backstage in that. I think he was just
Yeah,
back there.
because I don't that, but that's the second time that's happened though. because it happened a couple weeks before where they had a same thing, a same altercation, and Jimmy came out and was like, "Hey, Arch, you chill out. Like you need to stop." So I don't know what they're building up to with that.
So we have Santos Escobar versus Ray Phoenix. One of the, I don't want to say worst, but a very boring match. I don't know what was going on here.
Yeah, the start of that match was
The
weird.
the timing was so bad at the start. It turned off the rest of the match.
Yeah,
We had a few high spots, but the timing on that was just, I don't know what was going on. I don't know
it
if
seemed like Ray was just like he
get
didn't
let's get
know.
let's go, let's go, let's
Yeah,
go,
let's
and then
go, and then
Santos was trying to
Santos
slow it
wanted to
down.
slow it down. I just didn't like that.
Santos, I thought, worked a great style. I thought his character was really good in the ring. I thought he
Hmm.
talked, he was verbal. I thought all that was good. Ray, it's just, it was a disconnect there. I don't know what that
Yeah,
was.
it seems like they didn't have that chemistry that you usually want in the ring.
So then we cut backstage. Tiffany, same thing to Jade. Stay out my way. Both of you stay
Hmm.
out my way. Blah 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 blah. We find out that Jade is versus Nia Jax next week for a number one contenders match.
Yep.
So then we have a TLC recap. After the TLC recap, Andrade's backstage with Santos Escobar.
Yeah. What we about to say, buddy? Because you went quiet. So
Bro,
what you thinking? What
just
you think?
stop. Why do they keep, why why are they having every Latin wrestler
Yeah, they
be
are trying
involved?
to.
It's like, what like, I'm not trying to say nothing, but like, bro, they could be normal. Like they don't have to be like, oh, y'all just fight luchadors. Y'all just fight. Can we expand? Like what
A little
happened to
bit
the days of like Rey Mysterio wasn't just concerned with
LWO
what's
or
it,
anything like.
well, no, like back in the day,
Well,
what was their names? Psychosis and Super Crazy were their names. There
oh,
were these tag teams. He wasn't just with those people. He wasn't just feuding with Chavo Guerrero every day, bro. He had other people. Can we do that with our Mexican or Latin talent? Can we do that where they're feuding with everybody and not just within themselves? I don't understand that. Santos Escobar, miles better than any of their
hmm.
facials work or any of that. Way better than Andrade's. I didn't even know what was going on or what was said.
I guess it seems like Andrade is trying to go after uh I don't remember his name. You help me out here?
Santos?
No, not Santos. Oh my God, he's one. He's Angel Garza's,
Angel?
I guess, brother or cousin. I
You're
forgot his
talking about,
name.
it's Angel Garza and Humberto.
Yeah,
Okay.
Humberto. He was trying to go after Humberto. It seems like he's going to be his manager or try to be his manager later on. That's what it seems like is going to happen.
Yeah, let's scrap that storyline and let's actually get them. They're really good wrestlers. Let's get them to do something different.
Yeah, I
Main
mean,
event,
hey,
main event time, tag team match as we talked about. Yeah, so I'm not really going to go into a lot of what happened in this tag team match.
boring.
The only thing I will say is that Jade Cargill powerbombed Nia Jax at the end, and
Yeah,
that was the 1, 2, 3.
won the match.
Jade, I don't like that Jade has been presented as just another person because I think Jade, in terms of her look, she has an attraction look, sort of like Andre the Giant. So
Hmm.
why are we using our attractions as just normal people? That's something that I don't like about the Triple H era. I would say at least in the Vince era, for example, Brock, Goldberg, attractions, right? I think Jade Cargill should be in the same avenue. Where if you're gonna use Jade Cargill, big stuff, like big
Hmm.
stuff. Like she's like the Brock. You hear that, that sound. If you when you're the storm is coming, oh my gosh, the storm is coming. I got, like, whoever it is. I think attractions need to be used more in this era. I think that's the problem with a lot of people and a lot of things. I think Jacob Fatu is good, but eventually when Jacob Fatu gets to the main, he should be used as an attraction, right?
Of
He's a
course.
beast. Just how I thought Samoa Joe should have been used as an attraction back then. Brock and everybody, Braun Strowman, like these are people in which, like Taker, you use them when it's main event time. That
Hmm.
was my only thought about this tag team match.
Yeah,
Um,
it wasn't a bad tag team match. A
Nia
little,
is, oh my gosh, bro. In wrestling training, they always tell you to protect your opponents. She just, like, bro, elbow drop. You know how you're supposed to look for the surf. No surfing,
yeah.
just kill you.
Oh,
Senton
I
didn't
didn't
even.
even.
She didn't even give a chance for Jade to brace, bruh. She just sentoned her like out of
Hey,
nowhere. Nia was just
hey,
dragging. I'm like, bro, Nia is
you know
like,
how Nia Jax says she really don't. She really don't care.
all right now, well, one of them
Not,
shoot on them.
yeah. Hey, they did, and she got when Charlotte shot on her, she got smacked. So that's why. She
Oh,
tried shooting her, and Nia Jax said, "No, you go stay down," and she stood down. So, I mean, it was okay match. I don't think was it main event worthy. Not
I
really.
mean, even that LA Knight versus
It-
Damian Priest match
yeah,
wasn't.
it was what. Yeah, this show was a little bad on the matches to this show. I didn't really like them. They weren't very interesting. The ending spot, like you said, was pretty cool. She power bombed her. I don't know what that means for next week when they have that 1-on-1
Yeah, does that
for
mean
that the
Nia
World
wins or
Contendership.
does Jay wins again? I mean,
Yeah,
the thing is, I don't
I
think Tiffany will be dropping it anytime soon at Backlash. So
no,
I think that's how Nia wins. So you can have Tiffy beat Nia.
maybe.
I mean, because they have the history there.
Yeah.
But again, they need to present women wrestlers more, bro. They really do because we need
Hmm.
personalities to shine through. Even in AEW, before pre Tony Storm, like because she's the whole thing now. Even in
Yeah,
AEW, women wrestlers were so bad; they were never
they
presented
weren't.
good. Jamie Hayter came along. Jamie Hayter wasn't even presented good, but her in-ring work was better than every other women wrestler that she became a favorite to the point where they start popping when they heard her
Yeah.
name when
Well, that's what
Britt
happened with
Baker
Io
was saying.
Sky too.
Hmm.
That's honestly what happened with Io Sky too. Like she made herself in that
Yeah.
ring.
So it's
And
like
that's what it
we,
seems like for most of the women wrestlers. Like you have to make yourself in that ring because WWE is not going to present you as such.
but
It's just not going to
just how
happen.
they do the men, they should do the women in terms of let them have their promo. They don't have to be on the show every day. You can have backstage promos, backstage interactions, just little segments and things for their personality to shine through. I don't
Of
know
course.
why we're not able to see Zelina. Who is Zelina Vega? What do we know about her? All we know is that when she's selling, when she hurt, she loves she crying. That's all we
Yeah.
know. And then like literally, we know nothing else about Zelina Vega.
Wait, no, because that is so true. Because I remember
Bro,
the
she
one spot
always
she
let
took
she
the face
crying,
bump,
bro.
and she was like she was crying. Like, bro, what?
Why
Yo,
you
you just
selling like
hurt.
that? Like, like, yeah, no, sell your chest. You're hurt. What are we doing? Sell up. What are we? Why are we?
She crying, bro. She crying.
I don't know.
Nah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Triple H has a weird way of just, I don't know. Wrestling just has a weird way with women. They just don't know how to.
My
They don't know
thing
how to.
is, the only thing out of this show I'm looking forward to for the next couple of weeks is I guess they're building Carmelo Hayes versus Aleister Black.
Oh yeah,
That's gonna be a
that's
good
gonna be a
match.
fire match.
You know, Carmelo
I
Hayes I
hope
think is probably the best worker on SmackDown, other than Randy, of
his
course.
selling is amazing
His
too.
his
His selling is
selling
amazing.
is too good. No, no.
It's
When
good.
I say working, forgive me, I meant selling. I think he has the best selling on. Well,
Hmm.
it's still part of working, but in terms of like in ring working, knowing how to
Yeah,
methodical, Randy is just he's too good, bro.
he has
He's
good
too good.
timing. Yeah.
Randy has everything. Like everything's just perfection. Everything's perfection with Randy.
Randy just got
He got the
that smoothness to
experience. He
he got the
do.
experience and that smoothness to him. He just he's too cool, calm, and collected in that ring. It's scary.
Absolutely. Guys, so listen, let us know your thoughts about this show as a whole. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I'm sorry on behalf of the World Wrestling Entertainment Company because this show was
yeah. This show
SmackDown
was
was
kind
not
of
good.
mid. It was mid.
It was very mid, below mid, I would say. If I would rate it,
I say like a 5 out of 10. I say like
I'd
a
say
5 out of 10.
four out of 10.
Wow.
4 out of 10. The only thing I wouldn't even put it halfway because it wasn't even close. Um, I thought the show was okay. Highlight of the night was Playa from Nick Aldis.
Yeah, that has to be a
Um,
highlight of the night.
yeah. Other than that, this show wasn't very.
Nick
It doesn't.
Aldis was the highlight.
Nick Aldis was the
That's-
highlight. It did not. Basically, to sum it up, this show didn't want to make me watch next week's SmackDown.
Yeah, it didn't. I'm not gonna lie. Even though we gotta do these shows, I really don't want to watch next week's SmackDown at all,
Me
bro.
either. We just gonna cancel the whole pod. Like we're done.
You know, yeah, because
Raw
that
will watch.
was
SmackDown.
yeah. We'll watch
Bro,
Raw.
SmackDown always supposed to be better than Raw. Come on
Raw,
now.
it's always been
Bro.
better than Raw, and then just I don't know what happened lately.
Fit Finley, Boogeyman, Big Daddy V. We go back, Matt Hardy. Go back to those times. You remember when during the Ruthless Aggression era, bro? How bro, SmackDown was hitting on all
Bro,
cylinders.
SmackDown was
close.
even in 2016 it was hitting like
SmackDown
when
Live
Raw was
original-
bad. when Raw was bad,
Oh.
SmackDown was hitting.
Oh, SmackDown Live
God,
originally with AJ Styles, Dolph Ziggler.
Yes, Dolph Ziggler, AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose. Bro, it was
don't
good.
even get
It was
me into
good.
it. It was so good, bro. They carried that show.
And then now, it seems like they, it seems like they did it on purpose. But since Raw is on Netflix, they sent all their, I guess you could say their stars to Netflix, and now it's just SmackDown is kind of the B show, really, as
Well,
it's always
guys,
been the B show.
Let us know your thoughts about what's going on. We appreciate you. We hope you like, comment, subscribe. Check out our previous video if you want to learn a little bit more about who we are. And plus, watching that Raw review, and let us know your thoughts on that and today's SmackDown review. Lackluster SmackDown, however, I will say we have some exciting things coming out of it.
Yes,
and we plan on this channel to experiment and do tons of things. We'll come to you Monday with the review. We'll come to you Friday with the review on Monday, and SmackDown Monday, Raw, SmackDown on Friday. And plus we might be adding a little bit more, and we might add a third screen right in the middle.
We might.
Which we're watching some OMG moments. Anyway, I'll just tease that a little bit there. Guys, thank you so much for joining and being a part of the TBD podcast. Other than that, I don't got nothing else to say. I'm taking off this headset and I'm going to bed.
Deuces.